All right, guys, it's time to talk about the Buffalo Sabres. After spending most of the time on the bottom of the NHL ladder last season, they did have a pretty positive end to the season, managing to scrape together 79 points on the season and finish seventh to last, which is pretty impressive considering where they were for majority of the season. But all in all, it was a pretty shocking season. However, new season, new day. You never know what's to come, even though there's a lot of turmoil around the franchise at the moment. But nonetheless, let's jump straight into the projected lineups, Jaden, and see how Buffalo Sabres are gearing up for the season.
All right, so this isn't including all the players on the IR. They got a few, but we got Krebs, Norris, Thompson, Zucker, Kulik, and Tuck, Quinn, Jack Quinn, not the good Quinn, Quinn Hughes, Ryan McLeod, Josh Doan, Geertsen, Danforth, and Melanstein. In regards to D, we got Bowen Byram, Darlene, Samuelson, Timmins, Bryson, and Johnson. And then goalies, Lyon, Gorgiev. You would have UPL, but he's on IR. Speaking of IR, we'll just go through a couple of them. Jordan Greenway, Ostlin, in regards to D, Owen Power, Kesselring, and in regards to goaltending, Lukonen, UPL. So
Yeah.
some big names there on the IR. They're not really expected to be out for too long. So hopefully they get them back pretty quickly. Uh, in regards to additions, they did a lot of signings in the off season. Not a lot of extended contracts, but in regards to additions, Danforth, Lyon, Mertka was the ELC, and then they brought in Gorgiev as well. Trades, they obviously traded out Paterka to Utah, bringing in Doan and Kesselring. They also brought in Timmins and Bolivia for Connor Clifton in the second. And that was they traded out to Sam Lafferty as well for a six. So that's pretty much all their off-season moves, and the team doesn't look too bad. Um,
Mm,
ultimately, especially if it was fully healthy, and it's just like like we said on off air, it's just the management of the team, not the actual
mm.
team itself on the ice. They're never allowed to go fully to cap. They got 2 million cap space at the moment. Obviously, some of that was because of dead cap in Jeff Skinner. But ultimately, what do you think of this team? Are they going to be developing anything this year, or will we have to wait another year or more?
I mean, if you're Buffalo Sabres fans, you're really hoping that they come out and just absolutely surprise you, because what was it, 2 seasons ago they missed out by a point, um, and they showed just some seriously good signs to the point where everyone was expecting them to come out last year and just blitz the league, make the playoffs. They were, in terms of the Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit sort of thing, a lot of people had Buffalo as the team on top of those three, and the team that was going to take the next step and make the playoffs. And it went the complete opposite way for them, and they spent basically the entire season on the bottom of the standings. But you look at this team, and it's got talent, and that's why, like, all of the turmoil around the franchise has to be playing some sort of factor on these players, because what else is it? They have the talent there. They've got the players. Something's not clicking. Um, ULP, sorry, UPL. Um, he was unreal 2 seasons ago, and then he comes out last year, and he was ordinary. And it's the same thing across the board. Like, they're not playing to their potential. They're not playing to the level that we know that they can. And it's I don't know if it's something involving the team, or if it just truly is management and the players aren't on the same wavelength as the management.
It's
And
been
I'm
coaching as
talking,
well. Um,
yeah, I'm talking about the whole organization. I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the ownership through to the coaches. There's just got to be something that isn't clicking with these players, because the team has the talent, man, and the team shows it's got the talent. You watch them some games, and you're like, how are you not better than this? Like, how are you sitting on the bottom and then you watch other games and you're like, oh, that's how you're sitting on the bottom? Like, they go from being able to rip a team apart and beat them 6-0. And I'm talking about good teams. I'm talking about they could come up against a bloody top team, a playoff team, and beat them 4-5-0. And everyone's going, what the hell? And then they go up against a lower team and they get smacked 5-0. And we're sitting here going, what is happening? Why is it's so inconsistent? What is just not clicking here? Because they've got the talent. It's just something's missing. Like, where do you think they need to start to fix this and to move in the right direction?
Weirdly enough, you normally wouldn't say this, but I think age. This team is probably one of the youngest, if not the youngest in the league. Average age forwards 26, defenders 25, goaltenders 27. Like average age of 25 on your D, that's kind of unheard of. It's normally 28 around there or more. So I'd probably want to see some 28 to 32-year-old D-men that are in the bottom pairing to, your second, third line decor, coming in to fill that out. Same in the forwards. Bring in some of that experience and some of the people that know how to grind out a season can teach these kids. They're getting in age. Thompson 27 and whatnot, but I would just like to see a little bit more good leadership in regards to players that they bring in, because I think that's been lacking. Like you look at a
Hmm.
lot of teams when they bring in, like they're trying to fill out the bottom, they bring in, the Eric Hallers or those $3-4 million player that's 32 something age, and that they got leadership, they can play the game, and they're reliable. And I feel like that's what this team's missed for the last few seasons is just that old core, which is weird for
Yeah.
me to
Going,
say, but yeah,
yeah, because you usually go the other way, going
yeah,
out and getting like a Corey Perry who,
yeah,
you know,
exactly,
he's going to provide and he's going to be worth putting into the lineup, but um he's also gonna gonna bring that experience. So even when when he's not having the best performances or he's being rested because he needs few games off, he's gonna provide you that leadership in the locker room
yeah.
whilst not being on the ice. It's
Like
like
this team would have been great if they got like a Stamkos or a Marchessault from free agency.
yeah,
Like that
it's
that would help so much for this team.
It's like who was it, Minnesota, with when they picked up Ryan Reeves. I know like his on ice play is questionable, but a lot has always been said about him in the locker room. He's always been a really good locker room sort of presence and an experience around the players. You feel like this is something that these guys need. And maybe it's not the coaching, maybe it's not like it's just the fact that they're so young that they don't know how to adapt, they don't know how to react. They need someone to step in. So
Yeah,
you might be right there. Like
I
it
would
could
just like
be,
to see a couple additions, a couple leadership additions, 2 to 4 mil contract player on the bottom forwards pairings and the bottom decor. And I think
yeah. Well,
I
they've
think if you
got
bring in the
no
right
experience
type of
in
people, yeah,
D.
yeah,
They got no experience on D. Like Connor Timmins is your experience. He's
yeah,
27. He's not. Yeah, like that's not the experience you're after. And you've got Zucker, and Danforth in the forward lines are the only two players over 30. Like that's not. Yeah, like I get it. Tuck's getting up there and that sort of stuff, but you're right. I think they definitely need to inject some veterans into this and some good veterans and just good people around the locker room, because I feel like there is definitely something going wrong in this franchise as a whole, from players to management to ownership.
mm, yeah. Ultimately, well, I don't have them making playoffs though. Like they are that like wild card of wild cards in the sense
Mm.
that like if everything clicked, they could be insane and even go on
Yeah,
a run. Um,
yeah,
but they've never clicked for a full season, and that's always
yeah,
been their detriment. They've always clicked for 40% of the season. And they just need to turn that into 60%. Um,
yeah,
ultimately, yeah, no playoffs, unfortunately, for the Buffalo Sabres, though with the age, it does look good. Like they're all going to be
Hmm.
in their prime at the same time. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, like I said, just add a couple, add a goalie, and then add a couple old vets that can be good, some good leadership, and
Yeah.
play some solid minutes, and provide good goals.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think they'll make playoffs either, but this is a team that if it goes right for them, they've got the talent to do it. It's something needs to change in this organization, and I hope it does for them because it's been depressing watching Buffalo be this bad for this long, and for their fans' sakes, they need a season where they have some hope that this team is going in the right direction because on paper it looks fantastic. It looks like it's a potential playoff team very, very soon, but we're just not seeing it out in the ice, and
Mm.
that's the worry.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment below on what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. But till next time, we'll catch you guys.
Right.